on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I am waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up? Oh man, my height on there. I gotta bring this down. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Hit that like button on your way in the building. Y'all give me a second. I'm gonna bring my camera down just a tad bit. All right. Think we good. All right, that's better. Think it's better. All right, y'all. We finna dive into the day. Knock this out. Y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. I got a lot to talk about. Too much to go over. I gotta start writing this stuff down. I ain't even got a pen with me, but I gotta start keeping track of everything so I don't miss anything because I've been missing stuff. Y'all let me know in the chat. Can you hear me just fine? Can you hear me and see me just fine? Want to make sure my audio is good. Make sure we ain't got no issues. Let me know in the chat right now. All right. All right. Look like we straight. We in here. All right. Oh, lopsided. All right. Push that like button. Punch that like button on your way in. We hear you. Yes, sir. All right. Cool. Let me check out. Do we got the like button hit? All right, we good on that. All right, let's do it. Training camp today went down. We got a lot to discuss. I think I got a good handle on this team. I know people are gonna be like, bro, it's like you done been there 3 days and you just got a handle on the team. Let me explain something to y'all. I've been to training camp for 5 or 6 years now in a row. I done been to training camp 5, 6 years now in a row. I know what to expect from training camp. I know what I'm looking at when I see it. I know what I see in camp and how it rears its ugly or pretty head in the regular season. At this point, I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm seeing. I know what I can ignore because it's early, and I know what I shouldn't ignore just because it's early. But there's some things that's happening in camp that I can't ignore, and it's good, and things I can't ignore that's bad. I want to go ahead and get all the bad out of the way in this stream because I'm excited about the things that I notice that are good. I want to get the bad. Let me say that again. Oh, here come doom and gloom. Yeah. I want to get the bad out of the way so I can focus on the good because I'm actually excited about the things that I'm a little optimistic about right now. Okay. So before we go into play-by-play of the day, I just want to summarize the bad. Ladies and gentlemen, officially the snapping is an issue. Let me also tell you something that nobody's talking about. The snapping issue isn't just one center. The first two centers, whoever 1 and 2, because that's all that matter anyway. They ain't keeping number 3 anyway. 1 and 2 is the issue. Both of them. It ain't just one center having these issues. No matter who they want to talk about, Brewer, whatever, I can't even, it's hard for me to even see which one on the field at which time sometimes, but both of them having issues. And then it's like, well, if both of them having issues, you sure it ain't the quarterback? No. No. Because yesterday you would wonder maybe it is the quarterback because they were under center. All 4 yesterday were under center, with the exception of one that was hiked low, had to pick it up and go. But today, one was under center, and I think the rest of them were all in the shotgun. Today, you got the shotgun mess ups flying over their head. They jumping like they Jordan trying to get these balls. I'm going to plead right now live. I don't want to hear from these people like, bro, it's early. They'll fix it. Do me a favor. Stop. Trust me. Chris Grier need to rethink going to get Connor Williams. We got the money. Like, why is this rocket science? We got the money. Hear me, people. We have the money. He is one of the best centers in the league. And he passed his physical, therefore he's healthy. And don't give me, yeah, but I don't know how reliable he is. Just get the man in the building. Get the man in the building. Yes, people, he's healthy. He passed his physical in Seattle. He went on a visit to Seattle, but he left there without a contract because according to his team, there were like 2 other teams that wanted to get a look, and he wants to look at the situation first. So he's on his little tour right now, working out for teams and trying to see which is the best situation and offer for him. Trust me, Connor isn't a guy like, hey, will you please hire me? Hey, I got something left, hire me. No, Connor's like working out for Seattle. Hey, he passed the physical, he looked good. Hold on, let me go check some other people out. That's his situation. I'm not gonna play about this. Go get Connor Williams. I know you invested in Brewer. And Brewer, and see, this is the dilemma they deal with. Brewer is better than Connor getting out on the run, the stretch runs, like moving faster and getting around the edge on stretch runs. And he a beast in stretch runs. but pass protection and snapping the ball can be an issue. And here's the difficult situation you're dealing with Miami. Teams don't have situational centers, man. Your center is your center. Your guy is your guy. He on the field three. You don't rotate centers like, all right, it's third down. It's my time to pass protect. And it's the most dead giveaway position in the league if you go on a rotation. And that's the issue. That's the dilemma to Miami. And that's why I know they're not going to get a center. That's why I know they're going to stick with this and figure it out. I already know they not, but I'm just telling y'all as fans, man, y'all remember this moment right here, right now. Y'all remember this moment right here, right now when TD said, go get a center. They're going to blow this down. Yeah, but he's still a good player. They'll fix that. They're going to downplay this. We know this already. They're going to downplay this. And listen, I might be wrong. We come into the regular season. Whoa! I'm just telling you, based off of right now, man, go get us a center. The reason why I put emphasis on certain things at this time of the year and right now is because this is our year. This is the year where a lot of these guys ain't going to be on this team after next year. Their contracts are, up or whatever it may be. You have to understand right now, if you go look at the books, the team is negative $71 million next year in cap. Yeah, they're going to restructure to his contract, but he ain't going to fix negative 71. You're going to have to do some mixing and matching and some wheeling and dealing. So I put so much on this year as the year to do it. CB83 said, remember, they said Connor had snap issues the first week too, TD. I was there. Connor snap issues ain't nowhere near this, bro. Ain't nowhere near this. And guess what we knew about Connor? Remember, they came in saying he had the snap issues and the penalties, but he actually fixed it. And I can rely on a veteran that's one of the best in the league to fix something. But if I got a guy who is good at one thing, not good at the other, not one of the greatest known in the league, I can't rely on them. Like I want you to think about it. There's reasons why Tennessee didn't continue. When we went and got Brewer, we took his strength and said that fits with what we do, but didn't think about weaknesses of, maybe pass protection or this issue right here potentially. And remember, Connor fixed it, but he was still messing up some snaps. But what? You got a messed up snap once every 3 games. You like, oh my gosh, there go bad snap again. Bruh, the frequency in which we're seeing messed up snaps right here, I ain't seen this in 5 years. The frequency of, and let me tell you another thing. They're not reporting all the bad snaps. Some of them low, but the quarterback getting them and making it seem like nothing was wrong. They're not reporting all the bad snaps. Some of them are low, and the quarterback like, oh, I got it. All right. Like you can see it coming back low. Some of them are off, but they're making it where I've seen Tua under center today, hike the ball, have to reroute his hands, and then go back. They're not going to report that. Y'all think I'm exaggerating on how bad these snaps have been? I'm telling you, it's an issue. We're not talking about just the 3 or 4 plays that we tweeting out. I'm seeing the exchange on every single play. But they're not going to go get Connor. I think they need to go get Connor. Okay. Another thing I'm concerned about is the offensive line overall in connection with the quarterback. Let me tell you why. Every so often, somebody's coming through free. Every so often, somebody get beat so bad that it blows up a run play. Every so often, the guy's flying by the quarterback and just stopping and giving up. And the quarterback keeps playing the play, but it would have been a sack. Every so I want y'all to really look at some of those highlights they have on Twitter. I want you to study them because half of them that I see, y'all ain't at camp and you don't see. I want you to look at the quarterback in the pocket on some of these highlights, right? And I want you to see how a defensive end or something flies by the quarterback and just like the play over before the ball even released. It's because they beat their guy and they just run straight. They're not pursuing the quarterback like I'm about to get you, because they don't do that in camp. You see them blow by their guy and they kind of like stop or keep running, but you see the quarterback in the frame still making the throw and a beautiful catch and like, oh, look at what's happening in camp. I want you to go back and look at some of them highlights and just look behind the quarterback, how some guys are just flying right behind them right before the pass. And if it was a real game situation, they wouldn't be flying behind them. They'll be curving around them to get them. But they're not a single play in camp do you see a guy trying to get the quarterback. They're just flying past them. Beating their guy, flying past them like, yeah. You know? So, the O-line got some issues. And I think we also got issues on identifying, blocking assignments, because some guys are coming through free. And even if they send an extra guy, you got to be prepared for it. Some people have been messaging me or hit me up in my thread saying, oh, why aren't you reporting any of the good? And I asked them, what is there good that I could be reporting, right? Somebody said, Chop Robinson playing very well. First of all, the last few days I reported that Chop Robinson was playing well, but it's hard for me to be ecstatic about it when he's going up against a bad O-line. It's really hard for me to be ecstatic about any of these pass rushers when they're going up against an O-line that I don't even know if they're good or not. Right now, it's the great guess. And this is why I want Armstead on the field. And I want, I just can't defend. Listen, I've seen days where, like the first day or so, Chop, he didn't really make no noise. Then 2 days later, he made some plays. And of course, we'll take some plays as, he balling. He made some plays. And my thing is, I can keep saying Chop making some plays, but I'm waiting on the test. It's certain guys I'm putting in the foul cabinet. I'm putting Patrick Paul in the foul cabinet until Atlanta shows up next week in joint practices. I'm putting Chop in the foul cabinet until Atlanta shows up next week. Elijah Campbell out here balling right now. I'm putting him on the. No, I ain't putting him on no. He balling. He playing good football right now. Just FYI, Elijah Campbell playing good football. That's why he had that orange jersey today, but it made me pay extra attention. He following guys across the field. He actually shadowing some guys and stuff. They using him. He actually making some plays. Just saying. Because our receivers are good for me to know that now. Our receivers are good enough to know he got a test. Any corner that shows up against our receivers, they got a real test in front of them, so I could say, yeah, I don't look at what Chop doing as a test right now, which makes me not look at anything Patrick Paul does as a test, because I don't know, both of y'all could be bad and you're just having a mid-off. But what I am seeing is that interior line getting wrecked. And it ain't no one guy. I mean, Zeeler keep making plays. I mean, that's a given. But it's just a multitude of guys wrecking that interior. Between a bad snap and just getting beat, the interior getting the edge is getting wrecked too, but that's hit and miss. So yeah, there's some of them I'm not going to sit here and just rave about. I already told you they're making plays, but I need to see a real test. I need to see a real test, and especially Chop, because he looks undersized to me. He got a good get off as we all knew coming in. But I gotta see him go up against some other big time players that's gonna be starting on Sunday. That's what matters. Um, whatever extra cap space on over almost 20, like 20 million or something right now. But anyway, yeah, time will tell. I'll keep my eyes on it. I'll keep reporting it. But some of these guys, what they do don't matter to me. Unless it's like a play that is outside of the norm, I'll report, but it don't matter to me. That's not telling me nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, put it like this. It's like, let me get a good example in this. You know, it's like a defensive end, right? Um, no, they ain't the best of examples. I think I get what I'm saying, man. If a bum going up against, I mean, if a solid player is going up against a bum and they balling out, like you want me to think they elite now? And then when that bum goes up against, I mean, when that solid player goes up against elite player and they get no penetration, they ain't doing nothing. That's what I want to grade you off of, not that other crap. That's all I'm saying to y'all. And that's my job to be able to communicate that with y'all. So when people question, why aren't you reporting this? Why aren't you reporting that? Because, I mean, this guy ain't even going to play on Sunday. So when I get these joint practices and people out there trying to take each other head off to win their job, I'll be focusing right in on those exact players. It's that simple. What else negative before I get to the positive that I'm very happy about? Because again, I want to get all the negative out the way on this show. I don't want to really live in the negative world because I'm a little optimistic about something, a specific something on this team that makes me very hopeful. Anyway, let me find some more negative so I can be done with it. Mike White is on watch. I think Skyler is starting to make it a real competition. I think today was very indicative of that. Both have somewhat struggled and somewhat made a play here and there, but nothing to say, yeah, you're making plays. Both of them been bad. But I feel like Skyler was given the first 2 days as a primary. And I feel like today they gave Mike White more of a look. And I feel like Skyler kind of took some of his look today, my opinion, because that's kind of how that battle works. They usually say, hey, Skyler, you got these 2 days as the primary number 2. In the next 2 days, Mike White going to have the primary number 2. And that's how it was going. Skyler completed his 2 days. Mike White didn't show leaps and bounds better than him. It was kind of the same. And maybe I would have, I don't know. I think it's kind of the same overall. But today I felt like it was a more Mike White day, but Skyler had maybe a slightly better outing. Because that number 2 position is important. They're trying to give Skyler the chance to own it, because from a financial standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world. But he got to own it. He has to own it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel great about either of them being a backup if you're trying to win a Super Bowl. I feel like they're backups if you're trying to compete for playoffs. And when you have a team the way you have now, you don't want a disappointment if in the event that your main guy goes out. But I think that Skyler made a stride today. And I'm going to be honest, I ain't getting no great QB play from not a single quarterback. Let's get that straight now, but I'm going to explain that in the good of the team. I'm going to explain why that might be. And in that good, it might expose some bad, which you'll count as negative, but I look at it as a good, but it is a bad too. It's hard. Y'all, I'll get to it. I ain't trying to suspense it up, but I'm just trying to get all this negative out the way. Another thing, there was a guy that was carted off today. Not the cart where you're laying on the back and they're strapping you up, but he was in the passenger seat of the cart, laid out over the driver. The driver's driving, and the guy's laid on him, like look like he's in pain, and like a big guy. And it was like off the right side of the field. They drove him. They drove him off the field. A lot of people didn't notice because it was during 11 on 11s, and you know how hard it is, and you trying to catch 11 on 11s and trying to catch it. And I'm typing and I noticed the cart moving out and a guy like grimacing, a big guy, and he was driven off. And I don't know which player it was. So I put, somebody carted off and everybody's like, nobody else reported this. Why are you making fake news? I'm telling you what I saw. And on my same tweet, the guy sitting next to me went on my tweet and said I was right next to him. We were talking about it. He's not lying. A guy was carted off, not on the back, but in the passenger seat, like laying on the driver in pain or whatever. And even a beat reporter hit me up, was like, hey, I didn't see this. When did this happen? I was saying, and I told him, I don't know who it was, but they took him on the side that Jalen Wright went to the day before by the medics or whatever, but inside. So I don't know who it was. If they ain't gonna report who it was, then maybe it wasn't nothing serious. I don't know. But there was a guy on the team that had to go in to get looked at. What else before I get into my optimism and happiness and positive from the team today? I saw Omar say that he apologized because his peers said Waddle's having himself quite a camp. And Omar said that he felt like he was just having the same usual camp. I agree with Omar. Ain't nothing spectacular about Waddle in camp. It's the same as usual. But what I am noticing about Waddle is he's been blocking on the outside better. There's a few plays where he's the lead block and he's holding his own, creating a lane for the runner. So I did notice that. So that could go a long way. Small stuff like that. I'm noticing him being gritty and grimy with the block. What else? All right. So I guess the last thing negative before I get into the positive part is that this offense looked like trash. This is the main negative. This offense looked like trash. No quarterbacks getting off. We had 0 deep ball conversions today and probably attempted about 6 of them. We had 0 connections on the deep ball. And when I say deep ball, I'm talking about, that 25 plus, 30 plus. We connected on one mid, like 28 yarder to Waddle over the middle, but it would have been a sack. I'm telling you, it would have been a sack. The play just continued. I saw him on Twitter, Waddle, the deep on the Twitter. It would have been a sack. TD, that the guy had to use the restroom. Maybe. I'm just letting you know what happened. Okay. Maybe it was just the restroom. Offense looked terrible, y'all. All right, enough is enough. Let's get into what I'm optimistic about, what I'm actually positive, what I'm excited about this year. Ooh, sometimes when I do this, I be like, man, I'm not excited often enough. And it's been a long time since I've believed in something. With this team, at least. Oh my gosh, but it brings me back to 2-3 years ago, how crazy I was, but not 3 years, but maybe 5 years ago, before 2. But yeah, man, let me tell y'all something. The defense might be legit. I don't think we have the full personnel on the field yet, but that's why I'm even more optimistic, because I can see what they're doing with guys that ain't even going to be the main guys. They're not even going to be the main guys. And y'all need to hear everything I got to say about this closely, why you need to be optimistic, because you ain't got your main pass rushers. But let me tell you what this defense is. I'm still skeptical on stopping the run because the run has been hit and miss, but we've gotten a lot of negative run plays, negative. But I caution myself because the O-line that bad. But regardless of the O-line, let me tell you what this defense showing me. This defense is showing me for the first time in 5-6 years of training camp, they are exactly our offense's weakness. Haven't I been like those who've been rocking with me for a long time? I need y'all to chime in right now in the chat and tell these new people that's on the channel now that ain't been here for a while. How many times have I been telling y'all Tua ain't ever gonna get like better on his own until we run defense that takes that puts him in his weakness? Haven't I told y'all every year in camp? Yeah, we eating all these wide open zones. Like we got these raggedy zones, these wide open zones, right? And I will tell you, Weaver's defense is still zone. He got man in there too, but it's primarily zone. But it's that Baltimore tight zone. It's that clog the middle. The old zone is a linebacker here, 10 yards later it's a linebacker, and 10 yards later it's a linebacker, 3 linebackers. Man, I'm seeing 2 with 3, like everywhere in that secondary fitted in the window if you dare. Now, windows are there, but you gotta be accurate. Like, we ain't talking about spot throw accurate, because you could put it in a spot, and now, since I'm 15 yards back and you're 10 behind the line of scrimmage, that's a 25-yard difference, and our zones are so tight that put it in the spot if you want to. Put it in a spot if you want to. I got time to now come up under it, like Tua got picked today. Like he got picked today. He put that ball right in the spot, but sure enough, the defense and the secondary, the way they align, they can come up under that stuff now, just like Baltimore do us. So you know how we struggle man press, but also we struggle against that zone that takes away the middle. That's what we are. That's what he brought. That's what he brought to the team. So Tua and the rest of these quarterbacks, they got to work through that. That's why the offense been boo-boo garbage, because we still looking at that middle, that outside open though. Hey, I'm telling you. Now, the one thing in this defense, it does concern me about the deep ball, because here's why. We'll have a guy in place for the deep ball, but the way it's designed is just that guy. It's just that guy. So if a wide receiver streaking deep across the middle, like 30, 40 yards out, we got a defender back there, but it's just that defender. Because we got it the way that it's stacked between that 9 and 20 yard range. We got that on lock. That 9 to 20 yard range on lock. So what that means is, even if the pass is like 23, 24, 25 yards, by the time he throws, we could back into it and disrupt it as well. But I'm a little concerned about the 26 to 40 range. You got coverage back there, but it's just that guy. So that guy got to be on point and make plays, which, as long as they making plays, we'll be all right. But that middle of the field, this defense, and it shows the better linebackers too. it shows that you got better linebackers. It's hard to keep up with the linebackers and their numbers. And I don't never look at the numbers of the linebackers, to be honest with you. It's hard because I'm already focusing on the quarterback. I'm focusing on who we throw into. And then I'm trying to, well, first I'm looking at the protection. And then when the ball get out, who we throw. I'm looking at the protection all while trying to read the flow of the defense to see who's open and who ain't. It's like it's all simultaneous with peripheral, like you're looking at a whole play in its entirety. And we locking that middle down as a defense. Like guys, when they hike the ball in this path, they getting back in them lanes. They kind of like making the second, like that intermediate look tight. You got like one thing we do give up in it is the quick, like 8-yard turnaround, bam, bang, you know, but you ain't getting much more than 8. You might get 2 more, but you stop. But the more depth you get in it, the harder it becomes because now they can undercut and all of that. So a lot of these passes that we've been completing in camp have been quick 5-yard outs, quick little 8 yards turning around in the zone. It's already there. That quick stuff. But that intermediate 12 to 20-yard stuff, unless it's the highlight of the day, woo, between 4 defenders, sometimes it works. But depending on the defensive alignment, it could be a pick. And Tua had one today. That defense dropped back. I felt like it was 7 guys up in that intermediate. He struck that ball with like a bullet, picked off, got him. And would have been on the way to the races because he put it in that spot. And that's this ain't about Tua. It will be in a second because this is going to show you something. But that's primary. That's the league. That's the NFL. This is what they do, and this is why Baltimore and teams like that. If you have the personnel that can play it, and let me tell you why I'm even more optimistic about the defense. This is without the better pass rusher. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still being effective because his O-line might be that bad. I don't know yet. But when you got all your personnel and everybody's healthy, it might even be better than this. I'm just looking at a defense that can be real pesky. Now, will we consistently stop the run, though? Because we get a lot of negative yards on, our strength on offense is running to the outside. But we don't run well to the outside typically against Buffalo, Baltimore, and stuff like that. And you see it in practice. The way the alignment is, the pursuit D to the outside tosses and our strength, they barely give up any runs to the outside. 2 yards, maybe max. They barely give up any runs. On a rare occasion, you get a 7-yarder, and that's what reminds me of Waddle blocking on one play. And that's only because the guy went in motion and he faked motioning to one side of the field and the corner ran all the way to that side, but the guy was faking and he came back and got the ball and went that way. So it was his screw up or whatever. So it's a multiple offense. You see some man coverage, but when we go man, we bail out. Like these guys are pressing their man. In a lot of occasions, they start out looking like their 5-yard cushion and they start easing up. And then you start seeing safeties coming up to take away the middle. And you're like, oh, this is aggressive. Like I even feel it. I'm like, this is aggressive. Ooh, this is about to be a shot deep because that's what you do in this situation. But it also showed me we ain't audibling out of stuff because we still run the same play. No, and that look, you got to take a shot. We can take the shot. We're still trying to, and nothing was there. So that's another note. We'll get there. But I'm very optimistic about this defense. I'm telling you, I see the early signs. But I just got so the only thing that I'm worried about with the D, though, is consistently stopping the run. That's one. Because I know we shutting down the outside, but I'm seeing Jalen Wright and Jeff Wilson a lot of times making moves on the inside. They actually picking up some little 4 to 7-yard chunks on occasion on the inside, but the outside we ain't getting nothing. But also I feel like the defense is heavily pursuing the outside. Um, yeah, I'm telling y'all, I'm excited about the D. Pause. But I'm excited about the defense. They I'm seeing the early signs, I tell you no lie. And just to see it without all the personnel on the field, it's refreshing because I feel like this is what I feel like because the defense is playing our offense to their weakness. It'll force the offense to figure it out, even though the offense ain't figuring jack out yet. They just look bad. Like they know where to go, and then if it is somewhere to go, they forcing it. And then half of them are sacks because when there's nowhere to go, you got to go through multiple reads. And our guys, I feel like, don't have enough experience, or they don't do it enough for it to be the case. This is my conclusion, what I was trying to tell y'all earlier, my early conclusion. It's early, and I recognize that. I feel like our offense isn't going to be the unit that heals the bums this year. I feel like our offense might struggle more than people think. They'll still be potent, but not as good as the first 2 years. Definitely not as good as the first year, and last year it'll be even less than that, in my opinion. But I feel like the defense is going to make up for it, which is even more important. Now, I don't know if our defense will generate points, though, which will be important too. I think the defense will hold us down a little better than they did last year on a consistent basis, and it can only get better as you get healthy. And I think that this defense, even if you had injuries, could still be very potent based off of the system. But the offense is going to have to figure out a way to break through these moments. And here's why. We have less bums on our schedule this year. And on top of it, you probably are going to have 50% more of the teams that'll play you like this. Like last year, we had like 5 teams that play us like this. This year, I think we'll have about 7 to 8 teams that's going to play us like this. And the defense is going to be your best friend, but how much will we break through those defenses? Because we can't break through our own right now. Let's get that straight. We can't break through our own right now. Are there some plays being made? Yeah. But we can't break through our own right now. Is the defense giving up certain things? Yeah. Let me tell you what the defense does give up, the dink and dunks. You could get the 4, 5, and 6 yarders in this defense. So if you're going to 4, 5, 6 yard it all the way down the field, it has to be throwing because you ain't running on the outside. You might can run up the middle. We'll see. So early camp look tells me, and this can change over time because Q's right. It's too early. And I'm not being that guy, Q. This is the point of commentation. This is the point of going through what's happening. This is the early signal. These things can change as we get closer. And then the real test is the regular season. But this is what I'm seeing right now. This is what I'm seeing right now. And conclusion on that before we run down these plays. A lot of the issues on the offense outside of the snaps in the O-line, the quarterback's got to take that next step. Starter, second, and third string. They got to be better. Let me tell you another thing that I don't know how you fix this. I don't know how you fix this. You know how I told you in this defense, the deep ball, it's there for your one-on-one taking, which everybody loves taking those shots with a one guy back there to help. When I say it's one-on-one, your wide receiver is actually running free with nobody chasing him. But a safety's behind him going towards meeting him at a spot to make a play. But he's open field. What I noticed today is Tyreek is so fast, Waddle is so fast that the way the angle is, you can have a 60-yard bomb deep throw all day connected for a touchdown on that. Problem is the ball's being thrown like 55 yards and too much to the left. You see the deep ball, the receiver going deep, that middle crosser coming across, and the deep guy going deep. We're clogging up that middle, and the quarterback keep on looking in the middle, and it's not there, and they automatically look to the deep route. And the receiver going on the deep route, trying to meet you at this spot here, but the quarterback's throwing it over here, short. And you see the receiver trying to get to it as it hits the ground, and the receiver's like, man. And it drew a pass interference one time because it was so short. Tyreek was trying to round it to come back, but it ran him into the receiver. It would have created a flag because the DB wasn't looking backwards. And a lot of them aren't making that 60-yard throw. The ball keep landing 55 yards to the outside. And that's just arm strength. That's having a cannon. They looking in the middle, it's not there. They seeing the deep, and they're heaving it hard. But it's losing accuracy, and it's still coming up short. And it wasn't just two of us. Skyler had one that came up short on it. Two. And the frustrating part is it's there. Like I said, we didn't have a single deep ball today, like no deep balls today converted. But we took like 6 shots or something like that, like that today. None of them converted. And maybe one out of all of them hit a hand that was batted out. Did y'all see the Cater Kohu A-Chain one where A-Chain caught it? Kohu hand was in there, and when he hit the ground, he ripped it out. Did y'all see that highlight on Twitter? What you need to recognize about it, great play by Kohu, but it should have never been. Because your receiver has to turn around for the ball versus it being led out. That ball was thrown pretty far down the field, by the way, that play that you saw. That wasn't no 10-yard sideline there. That was like almost 30 out there. But it was underthrown. You see A-Chain turn around to catch it, and Kohu was in his chest to chest. That shouldn't be happening. He beat him. You got to lead that and let him catch it. But when you turn around and now the DB got his hand in there, go to the ground and rip it out, that's all about ball placement, not A-Chain holding on to it. That really has all to do with ball placement. You put me in a position to catch it, and the DB hand was under it when I caught it. And we go to the ground, and he's fighting and rips it out. That's all about ball placement. Leading the guy versus just tossing it up for him to make a play. Here's the frustrating part about it, because tossing it up gives you a higher probability of catching it. But throwing it on the money is a less probability because you got to throw it on the money. So this is why a lot of guys are coached to put it up to where he can make a play. It's better for him to be in a position to make a play than to overthrow the ball, and he can't even get to it. And that's frustrating because only the elite arm talent does that. They don't just put it up, they dropping those dimes like that. And remember, this is a throw outside the numbers, so 2 or more times than anything is going to put it up outside the numbers. Tua throws dimes in the middle of the field, inside the numbers. That outside the number stuff, he is definitely a quarterback that serves him better putting it up. And I agree, CB83. You can make a play, or you could also create a pass interference. That's true. That's the frustrating part about it, because he went with the odds, which you're supposed to do, but man, to me, that might have even been 7 if it was like laid out the right way. Remember, Kohu was in a trailing position the whole time, and he became in the play because H-Chain had to turn around and wait for the ball, like, and while he jumped over. Like, so it's a catch-22. It's, I guess, I mean, at the end of the day, ain't no need to complain about it. I guess you're right. It's what we have to deal with. Only a few quarterbacks in this league gonna try to lead that out as the perfect pass. Everybody else gonna put it up as the safe pass. But that's with a great play, you missed out on one. You know what I mean? So you can't say it was wrong. It's just frustrating. You know that these are plays that could have been big if you took the harder approach. That just meant, and it's not even harder. It's just, if you got the talent, you're going to take that harder approach. You know, if you question your arm or doing that, then you take the give my guy a chance approach, you know? So it's just what you got to deal with. But yeah, there's a lot of plays deep that could be there, but arm strength is a concern. And this is where you deal with your limitations. But here's what's frustrating to me is, like, you got to change the play then. Instead of just sending him out, maybe he has to, you know, cut that off at some point. Maybe the route doesn't need to just go out. Maybe the route needs to go out and cut it off based off of where you know the arm strength is, so you can meet it. You know, because these guys keep running empty routes. Oh, the ball coming right here. Oh, the ball coming right here. You know, like every time Tyreek them, I can't get to that. I can't get to that. Like, and it's not like it's too far, I can't get to it. Oh, I got to come back and slow down a little. I can't come back fast enough. So create the play that way. Why we got guys running 60 yards down the field where they would meet the ball if the ball can't get there? Because it happens several times. It goes back hand in hand with Tyreek running deep, but coming back while the defender's still running because they don't think he about to stop. And he coming back and catching the ball. That worked a lot. It goes hand in hand with that. So it's just interesting, man. But the defense, I like what I'm seeing. But if you get a quarterback with a cannon that can throw that, we could get exposed in that area. That's where Holland and them guys got to make plays. They got to make plays. If the deep post not far out, the safety can play both routes. I agree, but the problem is if you can't even get your arm to get the ball where it needs to be, it wouldn't matter anyway. Give them a chance, right? Like the other play I was talking about. If you're going to give them chances, give them chances. But why are we running plays where there is no chance? Because a lot of times what y'all not used to is that middle of the field read not being there. Y'all don't understand how many times we looking at that middle of the field. Y'all, okay, listen. I was explaining this to the gentleman sitting next to me today, and he saw what I was talking about over and over and over. Our offense is max protect, shallow crosser, deep post. That's our offense. That's the essence of our offense. They'll add a wheel route in that in some cases. But when we run these plays, there's only 3 receivers coming out. And late, there's an outlet that drops out that we never hit anyway. That's our offense. That's a large part of our offense. And all these other little plays. In proof, even today in practice, we ran that play at least 8 times. We ran that play like 8 times. This is why I'm bringing it up, because this is what we were dealing with in it. We did fire over the middle like 2 or 3 times today in that, but it was really tight to do. And one of them he got picked off on. So now he's getting a look where it ain't there as much, and he heaving it deep, but that ain't really, that's our offense. McDaniel need to make sure he's seeing. Here's another problem. There's more routes that would be really good in this offense, but I think that he doesn't put more routes in that concept because the O-line. A lot of times where you see conversions in practice, it's max protect. I'm telling y'all now, about 80% of all the completions you see are in max protect. You got 7 guys protecting. You got like 7 guys protecting. And we think when our offense playing well, every time we convert something, it's max protect. Every single time. But that's a limitation to your offense, because you like to have, 1 or 2 more routes on that play, but to get it off anyway the way you want, you need max protect because your O-line can't hold it down on his own. You don't trust the line, which I don't blame you. So you got to max protect, but max protect is taking certain guys out of the route concept. So you limit the offense to that middle crosser, deep post, and it's like, that's it. You can go back in the past and look at the film and see that. You got 3 guys going out max in most of the cases than that. Max protect. If it ain't max protect, we getting it out quick. But teams are starting to see this. They're starting to know that about the Dolphins. They're starting to know that. But let's go through the play-by-play timeline and tell y'all exactly what happened today. Shout out to the people on Twitter who following me. Man, I've been getting a lot of Twitter followers lately. I don't even rock with Twitter like that. I just be on there having fun. It's like my own playground. I don't even think about that as trying to grow it, which I need to, I guess. Oh, why am I tripping? I'm going to do what I did yesterday and put it on the screen, give y'all a good view. Yeah, let's do that. All right, here we go. Well, I need to share screen so I can narrate what happened in camp today. Give y'all the okay, let me blow this up. All right, 5 hours ago. All right, 6 hours. Here it is, the beginning. All right, present, share screen, Twitter. Bam. Here we go. Here we go. Well, let me. All right, let me do this view. Y'all give me a second. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the start of camp today. Day 6 training camp. The grind continues. I'm at the top, Roundtable Sports. I'm repping. Your boy, got on some black pants or plain white tee, hot boy days with the Roundtable Sports black and white with some black and white Jordan 1s. Yeah, your boy was black and white out today, no segregation, just black and white. All right, there you go. All right, tdphinstalk, and they run out on the field fully padded. Let's go. All right, that's the first view. 2 of them coming out. Some of the defense was coming out. All right, next up, Number 22, Elijah Campbell, orange jersey. Let's go. McDaniels next to him, chatting it up. He the man of the day. Solid playlist, a lot of hip hop, stuff like that. Ramsey out to the side doing his own thing as always, but he was wearing a compression sleeve. Didn't know if that had to do with an injury, but he was quiet today. I think he might have been limited because he was really quiet. I saw him on the field in 11 on 11s on occasions, but I didn't see him much. Y'all ain't even hear much from Ramsey today, did you? Something that I didn't even notice. Then our boy Jalen Phillips. Showing love. Like he literally did this for like 30 minutes, y'all. He literally did that for like 30 minutes all the way around, even on the other side. So that was pretty dope. Tua looking sharp in warm-ups. I thought he was looking sharp. Don't it look like 2 balls are by his head? Oh, pause. That didn't come out right. Pause that too. But those are actually in the end zone sitting on the ground. It's just where the picture was taken. It's just like the angle was pretty bad. But that's the ball that came out his hand at the top here, throwing some passes to the trainers. All right. So all this good warm-up. Then good news, Fuller is padded and ready to go. So Fuller was out, Ramsey to the right, Fuller right there in the middle. All right, he was ready to go. So enough about his little injury concern. He showed up today. Let the games begin one-on-one. So this is what I mean by one-on-one. I don't know if y'all can see it very well, but Tua, the center ain't even snapping the ball. A trainer snapped the ball to Tua. One-on-one, receiver and corner. Receiver versus corner. Now, at this moment, I couldn't keep up fast enough, so I simplified it. I couldn't, because I started on the first one. I was like, who was the corner? Who was the receiver? And they were already on the second play. Who was the corner? I was like, all right, I'll just count the quarterback numbers. So on one-on-one, Tua went 2 for 2. White went 0 for 3. Tua went 1 for 2. White went 0 for 1. Tua went 1 for 2. White went 1 for 2. Tua 2 for 4. White 2 for 3. Tua total 6 of 10, 60% completion. White 3 for 9, 33% completion. All right. No Skyler reps in the chat, they asked. Skyler was on the opposite field working with the running backs, handing off and throwing in the flat. So these two guys, this is why it's Skyler's day. This is how they do it. The backup, the first 2 days were Skyler's. He got most of the main reps. Today and Thursday coming up, it'll be Mike White. All right, so they give them both 2 days and then see how they're doing for the depth chart for the next week or whatever. That's kind of how they run that. Today's trench play will tell us something. Sealer, Campbell, Ogba, Chop, all practicing. And those are the guys I feel like may start the season. If O-line has a good day, that would signal optimism. Well, they didn't, so it don't matter. All right. And that's Calais Campbell 93 right there in the middle. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, here we go. 11 on 11. All right, now let me change the view and start breaking it down for y'all and explaining what happened. All right, here we go. Okay. Here we go, 11 on 11. Skyler, handoff left to A-Chain for 3 yards. Next play, Skyler deep to Tyreek for 55 yards. Underthrown, PI would have been called. Again, floating it out there deep, couldn't get it far enough for some reason. Next play, Skyler hit Jonnu. I don't know why I say Johnny, typo. Skyler hits Jonnu across the middle for 8-yard diving catch. But I wrote this because I didn't like it. He hit him. He caught it. Well, it was a bad pass, and Jonnu dove for it and caught it. So good job by Jonnu. But what I didn't like, I'm watching the play in the middle deep was wide open. The guy streaking across the middle. Wide open. That could have been a 40-yard gain. He just went to Jonnu. I mean, I was like, oh, he got him. Oh, he checked it down to Jonnu. So I ain't like that by Skyler, but it was a completion. Next play, Skyler tossed to the right, -3 yards, defense all over it. Next play, Tua comes in, handoff up the middle for no gain. Next play, Tua strike to Waddle over the middle for 28 yards. Showed a little arm strength. Hey, when he did that, let me tell y'all why. Think about 28 yards downfield. That means it was about 35 or 36 for Tua because he's behind the line of scrimmage by like 6-7 yards. So throwing like 35 yards in the middle of the field, the reason why I say it showed a little arm strength is because usually he got to float it with some velocity. This was kind of a bullet. It wasn't a bullet, but it showed a little something. I'm just telling you, it had a little gas on it. You know. I said, let me put that in the vault to see if I see more. I didn't see more. So I saw a play, okay, where I saw a little something. I was like, well, okay, a little arm, okay. But I ain't see more of it. I'm just saying. All right. Next up, Tua fumble snap. Oh my God, this is an issue. Next play, Tua handoff, no gain, D-line all over it. Next play, Tua, no play, false start, unknown receiver. Some receiver on the right, smaller guy, but he just false started. But they stayed lined up. They didn't go back to the huddle. They just restarted, but it would have been a false start. On that same play, Tua handoff for 1 yard to A-Chain, 1 yard gain. Next play, Tua deep to Tyreek, trying it again. Remember, they tried it earlier. Same result. This time, incomplete, no pass interference. All right. Ball was too short. Next play, Mike White, terrible snap over the head fumble. Oh my God, this is a disaster. The snaps are starting to be noticed on a proportion that ain't cool. Next play, White, another high snap. He jumped up and grabbed it like he was Jordan. Rolls out and throws right to the defender that drops the pick. Yeah, man, Mike White was tripping today. He actually threw one that was a pick like this. It was a high snap. He jumped up in the air. He caught it. He came down. Pressure was bearing down on him. He rolling out, and he threw it right to the defender. Defender like, oh, and just dropped it. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Disaster, man. So I don't know who dropped the pick, but they dropped it. It was literally right in their hands. It's like 8 yards, too. It wasn't even far. Like right in front of them. All right, next play. Mike White, terrible accuracy on a 25-yard out, incomplete. I remember this. It was like an out route. He just threw it more so to the sideline, and the receiver was like 6 yards away from the sideline. Just bad timing. And the receiver wasn't disrupted. So just a bad throw. Skyler comes in. Another snap over the head. This is getting embarrassing. Fumble. I mean, this one flew over Skyler and the players that's lined up behind the play watching. It was just bad. That's like 3 bad snaps already. Next play, Skyler, 4-yard pass to Jonnu. He dropped the easy pass. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. Jonnu had it in his hand and just couldn't. I don't know. He dropped it, man. Next play, Skyler's screen to Jeff Wilson for 7 yards. Next play, Tua quick out to Waddle for 7 yards. Next play, Tua hits Jonnu in the seam. Another drop. Come on, Jonnu. Another drop. I was like, man, don't make this start being an issue. We never take advantage of that seam. Maybe that's your calling because you're big enough for him to put it up out there and go get it, but you dropping them. Next play, defensive offsides. They stayed still and ran the same play, but the defense would have been offsides. Tua screen to Tyreek for about 4 to 5 yards. Next play, Tua throws a nasty interception in zone. You can tell he put it on in the spot. In this play, this is the one I was telling y'all about. You could tell he put it in the spot. Nasty interception. You don't throw it. It should have never happened. All right. Back to pass, got time, fired it, about 20 yards in there. The guy came across, got it. He would have been to the races on the sideline. He would have went to the races to the sideline. For defense was going crazy. Y'all already know. Mike White comes in after that. Mike throws a strike for 17 across the middle to Forrester. That was a good one. Next one, Mike White almost sacked by number 42, gets ball off in the flat, low throw, incomplete. Yeah, 42 is bearing down on him. It wasn't a sack because he flicked it right before the guy came, but he threw it in the dirt and the receiver couldn't catch it in the flat. Next play, White throws away, no one open. All right, he threw this out of bounds. Nobody was open. Water break. So there you have that set. Then people, the snap issues are worse than yesterday, and practice isn't over. Very concerning. Context. Yesterday issues were under center, and today is both under and shotgun. All right. Next up, here we go. 11 on 11. Here we go again. Skyler, incomplete, batted at the line of scrimmage. He had Berrios for 8, D-line active hands. Skyler made the right read. He was going the right place. Berrios sat down in that zone, defender on his right and left, but it would have been a nice pass, catch, tackle, but active hands on the D-line, batted it down. Good play by the defense. Next play, Skyler, wheel route to Tyreek for 20 yards. Not a great throw, but Tyreek is Reek. The wheel route should have been led. It might even been a touchdown down the sideline. But it was so bad that Tyreek was on the wheel, had his head one way, had to turn it the other. Defender in his face. Defender runs past him, and it dropped right in on him to catch it. If the defender was turned around and slowed down, it would have been picked. But he didn't. And Tyreek got that conversion, toe tap out of bounds. First down, 20-yarder. So I ain't impressed by Skyler, but Reek being Reek, bailing this quarterback out. He bailed Skyler out on that. Good job. Next play, Skyler would be sacked. This would have been a sack. But it was a nice throw for 30 yards afterwards, but Waddle dropped it. This was like in traffic, 30 yards down the field. Remember I told you earlier, Tua threw that 28-yarder with a little spaz to it? Man, Skyler threw a 30-yarder bullet, and Waddle just like this. Waddle was diving. It was like a movie. Waddle was diving right in his center. Bam! Defenders all around him. And he dropped it. And he just dropped it. I was like, that would have been the play of the day, but it would have been a sack anyway. Didn't matter. Only reason I even put at what happened after the sack, because I was impressed by the throw, but Waddle dropped it. All right. All right. Next play. Tua, quick out to Tyreek for 8 yards. Next play, Tua, deep left for 30 yards on sideline to A-chain. Defense ripped it out, incomplete. That's the one you see the highlight of. Tua, deep left for 30 yards on sideline to A-chain. Defense ripped it out, A-chain. In Kohu or Nick Needham. I don't know, whichever one it does. The one you see the video of on Twitter. That's that play. Ripped out. All right. Next play, Tua out route for 9 yards to Bonner. Next play, Tua strike between 4 defenders for 20. Couldn't see a receiver. That was a nice throw he made. That was in traffic in the middle of the field. 20-yard chunk. Next play, Mike White comes in, strike over the middle. Great defense. Bang, bang play, incomplete. I like the throw. Good defense. Technically, it kind of like wouldn't open. It was a good throw, but it wouldn't kind of open with the defender all over it. Bang, bang, incomplete. Next play, Mike White, terrible deep throw, incomplete. I don't remember which one that was, but it was a terrible throw, deep, incomplete. Next play, Mike White sacked. That was the end of that session. All right, let's keep it moving. This is where I said player carded off, couldn't see who it was. All right, let's keep it moving forward. All right, red zone, 11 on 11 at the 5-yard line. Skyler, handoff up the middle, 3 yards. Skyler, handoff, no gain. Skyler, back corner of end zone to Tyreek, incomplete. Good coverage. The defense was screaming about this one. Tyreek was beating them to that back pylon. I feel like the pass was right on the money, but the defense was so good, just clobbering, incomplete. Like, it was like not a pass interference, but you could see the closeness of contact, though, you know? but it's one that would have been like incomplete, and McDaniel would have been like, "Where's the flag?" But no, that ain't no flag. That's just great defense. All right, so good look on that one for the defense. Next play, Tua, bad snap again, but Tua gets it, hands it off to Jeff Wilson. He runs for a touchdown. He's weaving. Nobody touched him. He got in there. All right, but another bad snap. Next play, Tua toss to the right to Jeff Wilson for 2 yards. Next play, Tua pass to Connor for 3. Can't get into the end zone. He caught it for 3 yards, trying to fight to get over to the goal line. Defense start piling on him. Get out of here. Next play, Tua would be sacked, but after, this would have been a sack, but afterwards he got a strike over the middle for a touchdown to Berrios. This would have been a sack. Defender ran, just stopped. Tua finds Berrios. I don't know who got beat, but defender got back there and just stopped. Literally, he looked undersized like a linebacker. Might have been Chop. I mean, Chop looks undersized to me. He looked like a giant linebacker and a small edge rusher. It might have been Chop. When I looked at the build, it probably was him. He beat his guy and just stopped. And then Tua found Berrios over the middle for the touchdown. So it would have been a sack. I believe it was Chop. I could picture his body frame in my head right now, and I think it was Chop. But since I don't remember the number, I just think it was Chop. All right. Let me see. Where did I leave off? Would be sack. Okay. Next play, Mike White comes in, fumbles, defense recovers, ran into his own guy. This wasn't a bad snap. He took the snap, went backwards, hit one guy. It was just dysfunction. And he fumbled. Defense recovered. All right. Next play, Mike White maybe sack, but completes it for 4 yards at the goal line. Couldn't get in, but a quick 4-yard completion. It was so close. I give him the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't a sack, but a guy was right there bearing in on him. Next play, Mike White under pressure, throws it away, incomplete. This is when I thought practice was over, and they kept going. Today they practiced a little longer than usual, by the way. 11 on 11, situational football, 3rd and 1. That's the situation. 3rd and 1. Okay. 11 on 11s. It's 3rd and 1. They're at the 30-something yard line. It's 3rd and 1. First play, Tua hands off. Couldn't get the first. Defense talking trash. I think it was Jeff Wilson to the right, fighting. Defense clobbering. Bam. And they going crazy. You ain't getting this. You ain't getting this one. They going crazy. We punt the ball pretty much. Okay. Next play, Tua fakes the handoff, runs for his life. He did show a little bit of speed, if you ask me. He got out of there to the right. Okay. Ran for his life. Saw Tyreek, threw it to the sideline. Tyreek got it. First down, 8 yards. Crowd goes crazy. Okay. Pressure came right away. Oh, let me get out of here. He running to the right. Sideline to sideline. Him and Tyreek got him. Threw it. Got him. First down. All right. Next play, Tua handoff up the middle, 2 yards, first down. Next play, Skyler sacked, hesitated, pulled his pass down. He wanted to go over the middle. I'm actually glad he hesitated because that might have been picked. The middle was clogged. And then he looked to another way. It would have just been a sack. It was a sack. Next play, Skyler handoff to Jalen Wright. Cut back, trips, but gets 2 yards for a first down. He going to the right. He cut back, found a hole, but he tripped. But I see him. He got past the first and got an extra yard. It was 2 yards. Remember, this is a 3rd and 1 situation. All right. Next play, Skyler handoff to Jalen Wright for 4 yards. And you know what? I just thought about it. I'm glad they have a period in camp. I ain't seen this all year. I mean, all the years I've been there, I didn't see this. But I'm glad that they have a period in camp working on 3rd and 1 because we're one of the worst teams in the league picking up the first down on 3rd and short to where we got to go for it on 4th and short and still have a hard time getting it. So I'm glad they did a whole situational session of 3rd and 1s. It's definitely a good look. Oh, Skyler handoff to Jalen Wright for 4 yards and a fight starts. Jalen Wright wouldn't give up on the play and neither would the defender, causing a ruckus. So Jalen Wright got his 4 yards. I think it was Cater Kohu or somebody. I don't know. I'm speculating. Whoever the defender was stopped him. But every time Jalen Wright runs, he don't give up. He keeps fighting through. He keeps fighting. And Kohu wasn't having none of it. Whoever it was, I think it was Kohu. And he was, okay, fighting back. And then next, they tussling it and everybody running over. And Patrick Paul comes over and picks up whoever the corner was. And literally, I think it was Cater Kohu. And he body slams. Patrick Paul, I'm not exaggerating. Literally, and then they caused more ruckus with Mike McDaniel all in there. And then Mike McDaniel get back to his sheet. But they broke it up. But Patrick Paul picked this man up off the ground. No cap. I was like, man, what is WWE out here, man? But they all got back to work. No bleed over. All right, Mike White comes in, first play, false start. Next play, Mike White, terrible fumble snap. Handoff, -2. Yeah, this was a fumble snap. He got it, handed it off, -2 yard run. Snapping is an official issue, people. Mike White, miscommunication, deep throw, Waddle runs a comeback, incomplete. Mike White heaved it like 50 yards down the field, and Waddle ran like 25 and turned around and came back. So some kind of miscommunication. Next play, Mike White up the middle, no gain. Practice is over. Horn sounded at that point. And last thing I wrote was offense was terrible today. I'll explain on the show this evening. And then I went live this evening where y'all are watching me literally right now in real time. At least those on Twitter and YouTube are watching me right now. Oh, well, this is weird. Oh, no. That's my earlier one. So this is the one y'all are watching me right now. Real time, live on Twitter. Anyway, let me get up out of this. Stop screen share. So that was the recap for camp today. What I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to answer some questions. Anybody who has any questions, put it in the chat now, and I will respond to those questions and give you my thoughts on them before I get up out of here. Oh, no. We ain't doing no questions. No, we got one more thing to address. This is so interesting to me. And I'm going to call it out. I can care less. I am going to call it out. Y'all give me a second. Let me bring it up on Twitter real quick. Here it is. Yeah, let me share my screen. Yeah, I'm calling this out. Because no, sir, not on my watch. Let me share screen. Present. Share screen. Yeah, I got to call this out. Let me make it bigger. I got to call this out. So Joe Shad goes on Twitter. And Joe Shad tweets, here are Miami Dolphin reporters to follow who actually do interviews and watch practice and don't just lift content from the web. Wow, shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. People commenting on it. A lot of people wondering, are you taking shots at YouTubers and content creators? Listen, let me get something straight here, okay? What we do, like me, tdphinstalk and stuff like that, we're making it hard for our reporters because the clicks and all of that aren't the same anymore for them. Because many of you are watching creators instead of listening to what these guys have to say. And basically, this is why he's saying, here are the real people to follow, in other words. Now he wasn't talking to me because I'm there. I'm there, okay? But he don't know that. I'm sure he's talking to me too, but I'm there. Here's the deal, man. And this isn't even to him. No. I know y'all said TD don't sweat it. No. This ain't for me. This is just for people that do what I do. And this ain't even directed to him. All I'm going to say is they need to get their game up. They need to step their game up. The world is changing. The landscape is changing. People want live interaction, live people telling them what's going on, and they also don't want fluff. So wisen up. Start your YouTube channel. Start your podcast. Start building a relationship with an audience. Don't just drop an article and think that they're just supposed to take your word or gravitate to you. Y'all got the inside, but what people are learning is the inside is nothing. You're writing articles on interviews that everybody see on Dolphin's YouTube anyway. They just get to hear you ask the question. That's not web farming. That's reporting on what's being said. Get your game up and build an audience that you can interact with, that these are your peeps, man. And they wonder why the success that creators are having, and they're looking at their stuff and they're like, man, our articles ain't moving the numbers it used to move. That's because you don't build relationships with the viewers. At least Omar is on Twitter interacting with people, having nightly questions, and hey, ask your questions. At least he's starting to communicate with the fan base and build that. But some of y'all just think you can keep showing up to the building and listening to others ask questions and asking your 2 questions and writing long articles. No, by the time your article come out, everybody already know everything that you about to say. This is a digital world now. You got to go live. You got to get out here and tell people what's going on right away. I already know what time it is. I already know they're like, man, TD's down there giving every single play with details, and people on Twitter and people eating it up, and I got to write about it and submit like 20% of it later. So I'm telling you now, man, guys like Poopar, Omar Kelly, they're ahead of the game. They, got their own podcast, videos on YouTube. You got to transition and gravitate, capture your audience in a new way. And then send them over to the articles to support you. But people ain't more so trying to read nothing no more, unless you put this weird title on it that's new that nobody know about, but it end up being the same old thing. And he went on to say to somebody that, if you don't support the writers, there'll be no more of us. So follow these people, take your information from these people. Now that's the thing I had a problem with. Don't you telling people who to take their information from? Take it from the real people who's in the building. Well, I'm sorry. Being in the building ain't that much more of an advantage anymore. You just get to be present and ask questions. Now, if you're building relationship with players and stuff like that and dropping some exclusive hints of this and that, that's a different story. But 90% of y'all ain't doing that. You're just reporting the news to your specific outlet and the numbers aren't moving. Gravitate an audience and stop coming for the little guys. Well, you know what? The big guys, because some of these guys are bigger than them now. So salute to the content creating community. Keep doing what you guys are doing. If you're watching, a lot of y'all watch me because I meet you at camp, and then I see your platform is growing. Keep doing what you're doing, because this is the future. It's the now. It's the now. So get in now, get in where you can fit in, because trust me when I tell you, all of them are going to end up transitioning. Now their articles are going to have a video of them attached to them in the future. And the sooner they get on that, the better off they will be. But right now, they don't have that. And they're like, man, y'all got to stop listening to these other guys. Y'all got to listen to us because they're really, wiping us out if y'all keep doing that. That's in essence what he's saying. You got to support your local writers because if you don't, look at Barry Cunningham talking about you do you, TD. You have them running scared. Maybe they should ask you how to build an audience. Oh, I ain't even read that, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, man. Listen, creators, keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding. Keep loving on your audience. Keep loving on the people that support you. And set that tone, man. Set that tone and show your people love at the end of the day. This is crazy to me. Wow. Websites who post our interviews and write stories off of our interviews from their couches will eventually eliminate those of us who actually show up. If you want aggregator to have something to aggregate, you need reporters. The reporters need public support. Yeah, they do. But again, let's be honest here. Times are changing. It's time to start digitally reporting. And when I say digitally, stream reporting. Like y'all got the inside scoop. You guys can grow in. I don't care. I'm ain't in competition with nobody. So that's why I don't mind giving them the game. These guys have the ability to grow faster than anyone if they just went live reporting right after training camp. All right, y'all, we just left training camp. Let me tell y'all the inside scoop of everything that went down, blah, blah, blah. No, man, you know what? Let me stop. They have to because they got to put the article out for the network they work for. But they need to be talking to them networks to say, man, we need our own video audience. But then, hey, that's when as soon as it transition to video audience, then it's going to be tough because some of them networks going to be reaching out to people like us. Whew. I get it. It's a tough situation, but times are changing. And the crazy thing is, people that do what I do, we got security. We got job security. Can't take away what we do. You can't take away what we do. You can't stop what we do. Nobody can come in and stop what we do. Trillionaires would have to shut their company down, which is like YouTube and Twitter would have to shut down their company to stop what we do. And that ain't happening no time soon. The biggest outlet of communication ain't being shut down for the next 30 plus years until we actually all living in a virtual world or something. So I get it because this is how these guys make their living. This is what your line of work is turning into now. Act accordingly. All right. Anyway, let's get some of this Q&A in, and then I'm gonna get out of here and spend some time with my family. We're supposed to have a Dolphins roundtable tonight, but I gotta see if we're gonna be able to. Okay. Yeah, and we may not, based off of the time. I'll keep y'all posted on that. Let's see here. Yeah. But yeah, CB, I'll hit you up after this show. I'll hit you up. Yeah, CB, that's what I'm saying. Shannon and Ocho killing the game late night. Because ain't nobody else doing it. And it's nightcap. I mean, them boys be running to 12, 1 in the morning sometime, but they also on the West Coast. Like at least Shannon, I think, is. So, it works for them. It's a perfect strategy. And I'm telling people, you want a sports talking show, man, you better fill up that 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. hour and get it in. Get it in. It's a perfect opportunity. And Shannon and man, they took advantage of it. Now they rocking and rolling. That's a big platform that y'all don't realize. Beating the nightcap, that's huge. Get in where you fit in, man. You got to change the game. They not just wait. Shannon ain't waiting to show up on the TV the next day. Let's do more. This is another opportunity. You got to bond with these people. You got to show personality in real life. Nobody know these writer's personality. You know Omar's, because once again, he's more personable. He's more people. Like he like communicates and transparent with stuff and talk about life and stuff. A lot of the rest of these guys, man, you don't know what they do when when the phone turn off. People want to know you. They want to know you. They want to, they want to rock with you. So I just love the people that rock with me. Salute to y'all. Love y'all. I'm finna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna call it a night. Let me hit CB up and try to get this schedule together for roundtables moving forward at official time. Y'all stay posted. No camp tomorrow. No camp tomorrow, but I'll be doing a lot of work on Roundtable Sports. The official launch is next week. Roundtable Sports. Official launch is next week. All 32 teams represented, all 8 channels, all 9 channels with the main one. Launches next week. Here we go. I mean, actually, technically launch like Thursday, but the real content is coming next week. So, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I already hit Doug up, CB. So that's why I said we'll probably I think we got a good time going forward, a day and time to lock in the Dolphins roundtable. So Doug is on board, and I'm about to hit you up after this stream. I'll call you, bro, and we'll lock you in the time, make sure it works for you. And if not, we'll figure it out. All right. I'm about to hit you up right now, but love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fans up no matter what. Let me hit these super chats. Again, if you want to donate to this channel and what I'm doing and support your boy for training camp and help me out, you always can hit me up on the Cash App instead of the super chat. It goes a lot further. The Cash App is $tdphinstalk. TD, well, the link is in the description of the video. So if you drop in $1, $2, $5, $10, 20, 50, 100, 5 million, hit me up on the Cash App, and I'm appreciative of everything. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. But Sloth said, man, TD can't believe we wasted the rest of Reek's career, shaking my head, signing Tua for more years, sealed our fate. Only way we go to Super Bowl is with Skyler. We need to focus on converting 3rd and 1s with good play calling, not like the disaster like last season with dumb screen plays losing yards. TD, now that Tua has secured the bag, there should be no excuse to not produce this season. I still can't justify giving that kind of money, but oh well, fins up. Well, there's never been an excuse. He's just getting paid now. There's never been an excuse. Time always tells, y'all. We'll see. Roger, thank you for the love and the Cash App, man. It goes a long way. Appreciate you, bro. Training camp. All right, thanks, brother. Thank you for the love, man. Everybody who hit your boy up at training camp, spend your hard-earned money to show me love. Salute to y'all. All right. Thank y'all. All right, y'all. I will see y'all later. Peace. I am out. Training camp a wrap.